Hello everybody, Axis here, and today I'm going to be showing you the second part, or the Photoshop section part of my tutorial for renders. And this tutorial is basically going to show you how to incorporate the render into a background, banner, or whatever else you're doing with the render. So let's just get right into it. Just first off, create a new kind of canvas here. So just make it 1920 by 1080, full HD, probably what you would have rendered in, and then drag in your render, which you created in the last episode or section, whatever. So when you get it in here, it's just gonna look pretty dull, and it might kind of look you might kind of have a weird material kind of grain, which can be kind of fixed, I guess, with this kind of technique. What you do is you create a new layer by clicking Control, Shift and N, or you can click here, and then once you've got your layer, grab a brush, make sure it's a light brush, and make it about the size of the inside of your text, and then just kind of make sure it's a white brush. So down here, put it into the white there, and then just drag it along the inside of your text, like maybe just do it in sections. Like that, and do this for every one of your text, like that. This also helps to kind of bring out your text and separate it from the backing of your render, like there. Last letter. And there you go. Now what you're going to want to do is, with the layer that you just used selected, go into the blending mode here, and then change the mode to overlay, and then turn down the opacity so it doesn't look so bright. And if you have little exposed, like really like bright areas that don't look like, kind of look apart from all the other bits of the text, you can just kind of erase them a bit. So I guess just like this kind of thing there, because this eye is a lot darker than the rest of it, so see the difference there. And then what you're going to want to do is, if you have CS6 or CS7, you can, with the Zift layer selected, go into oil paint, which is a great filter. It kind of makes everything go together, look nice. Anyway, I'll just show you my settings, I guess. What you do is, you'll probably have shine quite up high originally, so just turn that down because I really don't like shine, and then turn basically everything apart from the stylization up to 10, or the highest number, and then just mess about with the stylization depending on the render to make it look good. I think on my Axis, my current background, I did something like that, but I don't know if I want to do something that extreme right now, so I just go for like 2, which looks decent. So there we go, and if you see, that's the difference there. Kind of just makes everything blend a bit better. And then what you're going to want to do is get your color correction. So you probably have a nice color correction in maybe my pack or someone else's pack that you've downloaded, but I've got all mine in the CCs folder, and I'll show you a really cool color correction that I like to use. So I've got this one here called well, it's it's just a random word that I made up basically, because I'm mixing orange with purple, and see, it looks awesome. It's a really nice effect. And basically it's used, I used the gradient here. This one here, I think it's a stock gradient, so it's right there, that one. So that's it there, and it's a really easy CC to make. So I might do a tutorial on making color corrections, but there's a lot out there, so I don't know if it's really necessary. So just turn down the opacity a bit to make it look less harsh on the font kind of text. There we go. And now just merge these layers together like this. Go and right click on them when they're selected together, and then select the CC and the layer, and then open up a template, like a one channel template. So I've got one here. This is my personal one. So it's got there, and I've got this design by thing, so it's you can see what it'll look like when it's on a PC, because no one really uses the one channel or YouTube channels on TV, I don't think. So basically everybody just has this kind of thing. And what you're going to want to do is put all your materials and everything under this design by thing, because as you can see, it just leaves a little banner area, which is all you're really going to be seeing realistically. So then what you're going to want to do is transform it by clicking Ctrl T on just the layer, and then while holding Shift, drag the outside there, and then see, just my computer's been a bit slow. So just scale up into this little box here, so it looks good. Oh, something, I must have. 2 seconds, I'm just going to close some stuff. Maybe it will help if I close Steam there. Okay, so there it kind of is. I might want to scale up a bit. Something like that. Looks good. And then when... Oh, what have I done? Right, okay, I'm just going to pause the recording for a minute so I can actually scale this and stuff. Right, so now I've actually scaled that. What you're going to want to do is, with that layer selected, click Ctrl and A, which will select it, and then you can click these two up here, which will center it, but I don't really like it completely centered like that, because it doesn't actually look centered. And then what you're going to want to do is zoom in so you can get a better view of it, and then duplicate the layer by clicking Ctrl and J, and then on the bottom layer, scale this up like this, and then do that center thing again with the Control A and these bits at the top. And then what you're going to want to do is turn down the opacity on the bottom one, like that. Looks good. And you can also blur it if you wanted, I guess. So you could Gaussian blur, maybe put it on like 1.5, that looks okay. And that will just kind of blend it with the background a little better. Also, what you're going to want to do is maybe add a material to your text to give it some kind of texture, I guess. So in here I have a nice material, this one right here. It's kind of like a crack texture, which is nice. So drag that over your Zift or text, whatever you have here. And then while you have your texture selected, hold Alt, and when you go in between these two layers, you'll have a little thing which will allow it to create a clipping mask. So it'll be like that. And then in your blending options, go into Overlay, and then bring down the opacity. And also you might want to erase some of it, so rasterize a layer, and then grab your eraser, and then maybe just erase it from like, I don't know, the Reaper X parts. That's what I did for the background. So like that. I'll just do this quickly. I think it looks really nice when you don't have it on the Reaper X, but you have it on the material below. Like that. Almost done. Okay, that's looking good. Also, you could erase it from the edges, so remember, have a soft brush and just erase it from the edges. Like that. Just mess around with this kind of idea, and you can get something that looks really good. And now you're going to want to start adding your kind of stocks and stuff. But in fact, first I'm going to add a light. So create a new layer and put it above the CC. And then grab a white brush. A soft white brush, scale it up like that, and just put it above your text and click, and you get a nice little light like that. And you can just turn down the opacity, and that looks good. And then you can go and add your stocks. So in fact, you could, what I normally do first is I add a flare. So there's a good flare, this one here. It's just a nice kind of flare for your text that you can just add, which kind of just brings out your text even more. So I'm just going to zoom back in, and then so just put it like, since there's light coming from the top, realistically there's going to be flares created on the point where the light is coming from. So if you put it on the top like that and just erase the sides again with a light eraser, looks good. And also you see where the Reaper X is, you can erase that bit there to make it look a bit more realistic, I guess. And then turn down the opacity. And then I'm just gonna make this a little less harsh, in fact. Oh. So something like that, and then you just keep duplicating the flares, or what you can do is you can, in fact, I need to make sure that's not a clipping mask. And then what you can do is you can grab your flare, go into Filter, Distort, and Ripple, and just do like maybe 100 would be good. And as you can see, it creates a kind of ripple kind of effect coming off the atom array on your render. I can also show you like some other stuff you can do with flares. You can grab like a small flare like this one here. Drag that into your little layer, and then these look really good on like an I or the end of a T, or letters without like long edges. So just put that kind of up there and erase the bottom of it, or wherever the letter is. And also, a lot of flares will be on the mode screen, but if you change it to linear dodge add, it will create its own light in the scene, like that. So you just turn down the opacity, it will blend a little better in the scene. You can also add some stuff that will match your render, is always good. So stuff like particles, maybe turn off that. So stuff like those kind of particles, maybe here. Those will look good, and they'll just be a little subtle kind of stock on top of the image. So just like duplicate them and then just drag them about, and then you can select them both and just dim them like that. You also have, you can add stuff like you can add sparks. Those are really good to go behind your text. If you put them like behind, you can do some really cool stuff with them. So if you drag them all down below here, and also this doesn't blend very well, so on your text, your like text at the front, double click on the layer and then put a drop shadow on it. Make the distance 0, maybe turn the spread up, and then turn the size up like that, and turn down the opacity to about 50, doesn't matter. And also on the sparks, turn down the opacity like that, and then duplicate them, and then go into edit, transform, and flip horizontal, and then you can drag it over behind your text at the other side. So yeah, that's looking good so far. Let's think of some other things you could possibly add. Stuff like smoke is good to go at the bottom of your render. So above your text kind of thing here. Oh, what did I just do? Alright, there we go. Just grab your smoke and then put it below the text like that. Make sure it covers the whole area of it, and if it overlaps a bit, just grab your eraser and then just erase it a bit so it doesn't look so harsh, and then select them both and lower the opacity. Something like that looks good on renders and backgrounds. So there's really a lot more you could do with this kind of thing. But just to try and keep this short, or because this is already 18 minutes, geez, you could at the end kind of thing go and select everything you've just done and make it into, we'll merge it all like that, duplicate the merge layer, and then go into filter and choose a blur. So what for my axis background I have now, I use motion blur, and I put it up so it looks like that. Maybe not put it so harsh. Put it down at like 12, like that. And now what you do is you will erase certain parts of your text like that, just random parts. And then also outside the text you can erase like some sparks and stuff to make some bits look focused and some bits unfocused, which looks really awesome if you spend a lot of time on it. So there is basically the kind of, I guess, basics to making a banner with that render. So thanks for watching, guys, and remember to give me some suggestions for tutorials and stuff in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.